Hello. I'm Charlie Betwinick. I was the photographer.
I'm Brianna Bradley, and I was the physician.
I'm Caroline Fow, and I was the leader.
I'm Ryan Baer, and I was the environmentalist.
And I'm Colleen Campbell, and I was the marathoner.
And this is our COMM 1600 Mount Everest simulation debrief.
All right. How do you guys all think it went? Do you guys think it was good, bad?
Overall, I thought it went very well, actually. I thought, the process of, us sort of getting to know each other and, the process of socialization went quicker than I had anticipated, which I think set us up, for a good, smooth process throughout the simulation.
Because when you get into, a group of people you don't know at first, it could be, kind of scary to have to work together, and you don't always know what to expect when you go into a group not knowing anybody.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think that we were able to get to know each other pretty quick, and it made it a more comfortable work environment.
Mm-hmm. We sort of faced a slight issue in the beginning. Ryan was having a little bit of an issue accessing the simulation, and at the time it sort of seemed like a setback, but it sort of provided us a period of time where we were sort of able to just sort of talk and get to know each other a little bit better, and as well as, establish, how we were going to actually approach the simulation instead of just sort of diving in, which I also thought was good.
Yeah,
making sure we all sort of understood, the, what our roles, meant and stuff, and how we were going to just approach the simulation overall.
Yeah, and I think that really drew on emotional intelligence, because even though in the moment when I was absolutely terrified of not having the simulation up, you guys never turned blame on me. You never turned negative. We just used that, built on it, and then made a good outcome of it.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that was a really good job of that.
Definitely. I think we took advantage of that time, and like we said, we got to plan for our new meeting, which we're having now, and what we had before. And I think that really helped us figure out and make sure we were really planned and really organized. I don't think we ran into any problems with not being organized or planned. Our communication was really good with between texting and also accommodating classes and tests and just people's outside world of COMM 1600. Exactly. Yeah. But I think we did a good job.
Yeah, I think we were really descriptive, and so no one was ever in confusion. Every single time we texted, we made sure every single person knew what we had to do when we had to do it. I think that was really, really good.
Yeah, we used mostly a transmission model during our texts, which was really awesome because we could be very direct with each other because we had established a rapport. So I thought that was really helpful. Everyone was super flexible, and we were able to establish more formal roles within the group. So note takers and recording the minutes and the agenda for the next meeting, it all came really smoothly.
And I think part of that is because we are from the same social world, because we're all in the same class, So we all knew what we had to do. We had the same message that we were trying to convey in our group. So, yeah, transmission model is basically what we used here.
Definitely. And kind of like we talked about before, between texting and computers and stuff, technology played a huge role in the simulation. Without our laptops and our phones and stuff, I don't think we would have been able to do the simulation the way we did.
Yeah.
And we did a really good job of using it to our best advantage and making sure everyone was accommodated with Charlie. He needed an outlet, and so we had to sit next to an outlet, and we moved as a team, and we were able to do that together.
Yeah. And when we had to move to get you an outlet so you could plug in your computer, we sat in a circle, which promoted an open flow of conversation. And so that shows we had a successful design interaction and or interaction design. And yeah, I just think everyone was able to voice their opinions. And as the leader, I tried to make sure that everyone's opinions were heard before we moved on and advanced the next camp. So before making a decision, I just made sure we were all on the same page. And sitting in the circle really helped that because we were all able to see each other's reactions and hear each other well. So
yeah, I definitely agree that sitting in a circle was beneficial, because even though there was sort of a leader facilitating things, it kind of didn't really distinguish anyone in a position of power or anything. We all felt like we were an equal part of the group, as opposed to if you had been sitting at the end of the table and us facing you, that's more of a power position almost, but I think I think the way we had it set up was good for making sure everyone felt like they could speak and stuff.
What I really appreciated was everyone was able to ask a lot of questions during the simulation, and everybody felt like they were able to voice what they needed during the simulation.
Right.
And I thought the teamwork element was amazing.
Right.
Like, all of us were like, oh, we don't want to, leave anyone behind. So the group literally just stayed together.
Yeah.
And whether it became a success during the simulation or not, I felt better for having stayed together and really kept the group as one.
And not one moving on and everyone else staying behind. We all stayed together as a team, which I think ultimately is more important than summiting. Because even though none of us summited, we all were able to stay together, which was good.
Absolutely.
And it was interesting to see how we all communicated too with our different roles. Like me being the physician, I had to make sure that everyone's health was okay before we could move on. Like Charlie was getting frostbite, or he was getting almost having an asthma attack, and we were able to overcome that. And he was able to get better. And
but you were only allowed to help a certain amount
Right.
of people a
So
day.
that was
so
what was
like,
difficult.
if I think there was definitely me and Ryan had pretty poor health, and so we had to sort of determine, which one of us it was going to be more effective to help.
definitely.
And doing that, we all had to make sure we were all on the same page before making those decisions.
Definitely.
Yeah, when people were talking, it was evenly spaced, so no one really took control of the conversation and kept it that way. I think that was really good for successful group interaction.
Definitely. And I think that one of the hardest things that was maybe hard for me, I don't know so much about you guys, but going into the simulation and not knowing so much about the simulation,
Yeah.
we kind of went in there and we're like, all
In
right,
the dark.
what do we do?
Right.
And so I think that was something we had to overcome together. Like we all sat in a circle, like we said, and we were all able to read each other what our own screen said, because we were all different roles, so they all said different things. And I think that really helped with figuring out what we had to do so we could accomplish what we did and figure it out.
Yeah, I think that was sort of a lot of the process occurred, during, when we were trying to figure out his issue. And so I really do think that ended up being a good thing for us to sort of cut out like a period of time before we just dived in, so that we could all, make sure we understood like how the simulation worked and stuff like that. And so we could, go through the simulation without having to clarify how the simulation actually worked and stuff. And I think that made the process a lot smoother overall.
Yeah, definitely.
Even though none of us knew what to expect, it was kind of more helpful that way because we were all on the same page,
Yeah.
And we were all a
It was
little
fun.
bit nervous. We all didn't know what to expect, so it kind of helped. We weren't alone. It was better that we were in a group.
Yeah, we had a bit of an advantage because I think all of us have very understanding personalities, and that really came out during the whole process, because there were times when I think some people could have gotten frustrated, and everyone was so laid back. It was so nice.
Yeah. We were empathetic when you needed the outlet to charge your computer, and then when you couldn't access the simulation, we all understood, because everything happens, it's life, so you can't control really what happens.
What was that like for you when you were trying to access the simulation?
Very stressful. Very stressful. But I mean, I thought it would have led to a bunch of dysfunction, but you guys turned it into a positive, which was, I think, very, very good. Did anyone else feel jittery or stressed out in the moment?
There were times,
but naturally, I think when you're working with a new group of people, there's a sort of uncertainty almost that stems from nervousness and stuff like that. But I think that really went away quickly. When I realized obviously it's a class about working in groups, so people are going to obviously sort of have the same mentality in approaching like a group project like this.
It was a very positive experience overall. I think a lot of people struggle with scheduling issues, and we never really ran into that.
Yeah,
It was
I don't
just
know
like,
if we all have similar schedules.
Even planning
or if it
around
just
your
worked.
trip coming up soon, I
Yes.
think, that's a pretty big, that eliminates a lot of days, but I think we still did a really good job of making sure everything got done in time. So.
Yeah, and it's nicer almost that I am leaving this weekend so that we didn't wait until the last minute to do it.
Yeah, getting it done early was definitely a plus.
Yeah,
I
and
agree.
I think there was just one example of miscommunication where we didn't know that we could only stay for one day at a camp with being able to summit still. And we actually took 2 days, and that's why none of us were able to summit. And I don't know if everyone knew that we were only allowed 1 day. I don't remember knowing
I didn't know that.
So before we made the decision to stay 2 days, I don't think we were all on the same page that we wouldn't summit
I think
as a
that was
result.
one of our main problems. But
Yeah.
I think
But
that what we did was smart.
Yes.
Like with our health and stuff, like we all communicated and said, we might not make it if we don't take another night.
So it was nice none of us had to be rescued at any point, and we all made it.
Even though we didn't
to the
summit, I
top.
think we could all pat ourselves on the back.
Yeah,
We
I
did pretty
agree.
good.
Yeah, so overall, you think it went well?
I would say yes.
I would too.
think it went well.
Yeah.
As good as I could have hoped it would have gone, honestly.
Yep.
And
And I'm
I-
excited that we'll have the same group throughout the whole semester now
Yeah,
because
me
we
too.
worked together so well. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
And overall, I think the simulation was really fun. It was a really cool thing, too, to kind of be able to experience and say we climbed Mount Everest, even though we really didn't.
We attempted.
But yeah, I think our team really worked together really good, and it was fun working with you guys. It was fun to get to know you guys, and I look forward to knowing more about you guys in the future. Yeah.
Likewise.
For sure.
Likewise.
Cool.
Yeah, I think our troubleshooting skills are like really on par. Like we filled the time wisely, even when we were doing tech problems and stuff. Everything was just so smooth. Like I could not have imagined it going better, honestly.
Right.
Good job, guys.
Maybe for a last question, is there anything that you guys would do differently next time? Just kind of wrap it up.
Make sure we have a table with outlets near it.
Yeah, maybe better plan our location, but that's the only thing I can think of, really.
Yeah, I think we did good. Cool.
Good job,
Alright.
guys.
Good job, guys.
Thanks. Bye.